What's going on, guys? I gave JP Linquist a shout out the other day, and we're gonna give him another one because he has this great vlog about his happenings in China and what he's been doing. Go check it out. I'll put the link in the description. We miss you, buddy. Keep making great videos.
Come back soon.
Get Out is the directorial debut of Jordan Peele. Yes, Jordan Peele from the Key and Peele comedy sketches, and he's doing a horror movie, a horror thriller. And I just want to say right away, this movie kind of blew me away. It's not just like the normal abduction that it looks like in the trailers, abduction type horror movie. This was an intense, really smart and really well written psychological thriller. Okay, this movie is great. Right now it is standing at a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, certified fresh. John, do you think that it deserves that?
I think so.
You think it deserves a 100%?
I'd give it a 100% of Rotten Tomatoes. It was terrific. Between the social commentary and a lot of the other positives that we're going to be talking about pretty shortly, there's a lot of good things about this movie.
Yes, there is. There's a lot of good things. I don't think it deserves a 100%, and we'll get into why, though. There were a lot of things I liked about this movie, and number one being that this movie is very tense and has new imagery to it. It's very unique in what it does for a horror movie or a thriller, and I thought that was so refreshing in this new wave of just cliche shit that we've been getting in all these horror movies. It was so refreshing as we saw Rings, which was terrible, and now this, which is incredible. I really loved the first half through 3/4 of this film, and it kind of fell apart for me at the end. John?
Yeah, I will say towards that last quarter, there's a certain like plot sequence that happens that I just think took away from the psychological aspect, both for the viewer and for the characters in the movie. Daniel Kaluuya, hope I'm pronouncing his last name right. It's the first film that I know having seen him in.
Yeah,
but,
it's very new.
Yeah, he's a very new actor, like very good in this movie. I think his performance is absolutely stunning in his role. Playing,
you were really able to connect with the characters. You know, that's what this movie did so well. You were able to connect with the characters so well, and their characters were not just dumb; they were smart and they had depth to them. David Kaluuya is going to be in Steve McQueen's next movie, which is huge. Anyway, but yeah, do you have any more positives, John?
Yeah, I think the way that they intertwine the social commentary and horror together is really important because this movie, people have kind of talked about that's putting it off or praising it for being like race related, and there are definitely some racial tensions in this movie, and I think that they are just interconnected so well.
It's a very important film for right now, just like how Moonlight was. But this movie is so smart. It's one of those movies that I want to watch over and over again. Right when I was out of the theater, I just wanted to go back in for the performances, the story, and the directing. I was blown away by this film for about 75% of it. I loved all of that, and it is so smart. There's so much depth to it. I just want to watch it over and over again.
And in that regards, it reminds me a lot of The Babadook. So for those of you who don't know, it's like a 2014 film. I've seen it.
A slower burn, not everything just in your face right away. You got to ease into it.
Yeah. In The Babadook, it's just like a slow psychological build, and there's just so much that I learned from it every time, and I really hope when I go back and watch Get Out with us in theaters or on Blu-ray or multiple times on each, I really hope that I'm able to take away a different concept or more from it, much like The Babadook, as that's one of my favorite movies of all time.
All right, so that was what we really liked about this film. Now we're going to get into what we didn't like. John, what did you not like about this movie?
Well, in this movie, it's marketed as a horror movie, and in a horror movie, I normally experience some jump scares, and for those of you that have seen our Rings review, I jump a lot. And there were only 3 or 4 true, like, jump scares, but they were just normal things, like someone walking with a loud burst of sound, and it was like, it didn't feel like there was a jump scare, and they didn't need that sudden sound anywhere in the movie.
Yeah, I don't think they really needed the jump scares, but they worked better than they would in, say, a movie like Rings. For me, the negatives were, the biggest negative for me was the marketing. I thought it marketed, like, I didn't like the trailers at all, quite honest with you. I thought it just looked like the average abduction, the average horror movie. But what I got out of it was much more depth and intelligence to it that I wish it would have marketed like that. And from what I've heard, the box office predictions from the buzz from it, it is doing well, thank God, because this movie was great. But the other negative to me, there's one character, our main character's friend, who works for the TSA, right?
Yep.
And I just feel like they didn't develop his character enough for what the pivotal role he ends up having. No spoilers. But I just didn't think that was developed enough that I really understood or cared about his character at the end. But I mean, for me, that's it. Mostly the marketing and that, it's just about 3/4 of the way through, it just kind of fell apart. The ending kind of fell apart for me. I was like, we didn't need to go this direction. But like, it felt more grounded before that. But anyway, so that was our positive and negatives, guys. What is your final rating for this film, Get Out?
For Get Out, I am going to give it an 8.7.
It's very high.
Yeah.
Great film, guys. I'm going to give Get Out a 7.9 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. Could have been better, but for the most part, it is a great horror film. Go check it out.
No.
A bomb is a terrible thing to leave.
All right, SC Entertainment fans, that was our review of Get Out. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, like and comment on this video, support this channel, and make sure if you haven't already, subscribe to us. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Links are in the description below. Thanks as always, John, for joining me, and we'll see you next time.